Yo, what is good, everybody? This is my leveling guide for Rogue in Diablo 4 for Season 4, but let's jump straight into the aspects. And the first aspect we're going over is the aspect of repeating, and this gives our core ability Rapid Fire the ability to ricochet. And we're putting the aspect of repeating on our glove piece. And the second aspect we're going over today is the Icy Alchemist aspect, and this allows our Shadow Imbued skills the chance to chill or freeze our enemies. And we're putting the Icy Alchemist aspect on our ring piece. And as for our third aspect, we're going the aspect of Bursting Venoms, and this allows our Poison Imbued skills to reset the cooldown of our Poison Imbue, and we can use it more frequently. And we're putting this over on our ring piece. And guys, as our complementary aspect today, we're going the aspect of Pestilent Points. And this allows our basic ability Puncture to apply Poison Imbue. Now moving on to the defensive aspects, we're going the good old Juggernaut's aspect, and this gives us a flat armor increase, and armor reduces the damage we take. And we're putting that over on our pants piece. So that does it for all the aspects. Let's go over the primary and secondary skills next. So as for our basic ability, we're going Puncture, and we're going the version of Puncture that applies vulnerable to our enemies. Now as for our core abilities, you guys voted for it. We're going Rapid Fire, and we're going the version of Rapid Fire that increases our critical strike damage for 5 seconds after we evade. Moving down to our agility skills, we're going Shadow Step, and we're going the version of Shadow Step that stuns our enemies. And then moving down again, we're going Concealment, and we're going the version of Concealment that guarantees a critical strike after we break our Concealment. And we're putting a full 5 points into Concealment to reduce its cooldown. Now moving down to our Imbuement skills, we're going Shadow Imbuement, and we're going the version of Shadow Imbuement that increases the non-physical damage our enemies take. And then we're putting a full 5 points into Poison Imbuement, and we're going the version of Poison Imbuement that increases the poison damage we deal. Now moving down to our ultimate skills here, we're taking no ultimates, but as for our key passive, we're taking Precision. And we're going Precision to increase the damage we deal with Rapid Fire. Now if you're feeling spicy, you can also go Victimize, it does a whole bunch of damage as well. Alright guys, well that does it for all the primary skills. Let's move on to those secondary skills next. So we're going to put one into Adrenaline Rush, but what we really want here is Impetus. And Impetus increases the damage we deal after moving. Then we're putting a full 3 into Innervation to give us a chance to regenerate extra energy. Then moving up, we're dumping a full 3 into Frigid Finesse to increase the damage we deal to chilled or frozen enemies. And how we're getting chilled or frozen enemies is from the aspect we use with Shadow Imbue. Moving up, we're putting a full 3 into Exploit for increased damage, and then we're putting another 3 into Malice for increased damage as well. Next, we're going to put a full 3 into Agile to give us increased dodge chance, and then we're putting 2 into Mending Obscurity so that every time we pop Concealment, we get a heal. Then we're dumping a full 3 into Weapon Mastery for increased damage across the board. And then finally, we're putting a full 3 into Sturdy to give us increased damage reduction. And if you guys want to go check this build out over at Mobalytics, it's called the True Imbue Rogue build. And I got everything here from the aspects to the skill tree and the Paragon board. And I also have a Twisting Blades version of this build. So go check it out at Mobalytics. You guys know where to go. Alright guys, so that does it for the primary skills, the secondary skills, and the Mobalytics plug. But let's move on to that Paragon board next. Alright guys, as for the Paragon board, it's pretty simple. You're just going to want to carve your way all the way to the glyph sockets on both boards. And the second board that you want to get is the Exploit Weakness board. And as for the glyphs, we're going Night Stalker so that every time we use the stealth ability, it helps reset the cooldown of our Shadow Imbue. And as for the secondary glyph, we're going Efficacy to increase the potency of our imbuement skills. And don't forget to get the rare node Hunter Killer. This simply increases the damage we deal to elites. And guys, don't forget, once you have enough skill points, you can work your way over to the legendary node Exploit Weakness. This will increase the damage you deal to vulnerable enemies. Alright guys, so that's it for the Paragon board. Let's move on to the Rogue Specialization next. Alright guys, quite simply, we're going Combo Points. This will just straight up increase the damage we deal with Rapid Fire. As you can see here, how Combo Points works is every time you get an additional combo point, you deal more damage and you shoot more arrows. So it's a no-brainer as to why Combo Points is what you want to go for this build. Alright, so that does it for the Rogue Specialization. Let's move on to some quick leveling tips in Season 4 for the Rogue next. So first things first, every seasonal journey will always start with a seasonal progression. And on the seasonal journey, you'll also get seasonal blessings. And on the progression bar here, you have something called Smoldering Ashes, and you want to invest this into your seasonal blessings. And the first seasonal blessing urn that you want to invest into is the Urn of Aggression. This will just flat out increase the experience you get by 20%. As for the other urns, I suggest you do the Urn of Whispers to increase the loot you get from the Tree of Whispers, and then follow up with the Urn of Iron to increase the reputation you get with the Iron Wolves. Now on to my next tip. When you're in World Tier 1 and World Tier 2, make sure that you're doing the Helltide. You'll get the most experience, and also in the Helltide, they have Helltide objectives. And these Helltide objectives grant you Grim Favor. And the Grim Favor can be turned in at the Tree of Whispers for extra loot and XP. So that way, while you're grinding in the Helltide for experience, you can also do the objectives and double down on the experience from the Tree of Whispers. And sometimes, if you're lucky, within the Helltide, you could also get dungeons. And dungeons reward 5 Grim Favor at a time, and you only need 10 to turn it into the Tree of Whispers. And additionally, guys, if you enjoy the Helltide that much and you're not getting bored of it, you could also grind out the Helltide in World Tier 3 and World Tier 4 as a way to level up. Now, another thing you get in the Helltide is Iron Wolf reputation. And in Season 4, when you're grinding the Iron Wolf reputation, you get Iron Wolf rewards. And these rewards will drop the loot that you need to get those aspects to make your builds come together real quick. You can also get the tempering manuals and the elixirs from the Iron Wolf reputation grind. And speaking on those elixirs, guys, make sure that you're using them as you grind out your leveling experience. They grant you anything from 8 experience to 5 experience, and then they also buff your character. You could also craft these at the Alchemist if you please. And additionally, guys, don't forget to do your Nightmare Dungeons. So if you happen to do the Grim Favor at the Tree of Whispers, you will drop these Nightmare Sigils. And these Nightmare Sigils will take you into Nightmare Dungeons, where you also get a dope amount of XP, and you can also level up your glyphs real quick. So if you happen to get bored of the Helltide, you also have the Nightmare Dungeons to fall back on. Well, that does it for all my quick leveling tips. Let's jump into the Helltide now in World Tier 4 with only Sacreds on. Alright guys, here we are in World Tier 4, and as you can see I only have Sacreds on, and someone summoned the Blood Maiden. Alright, here she goes, she spawned. Now we're just going to sit back, try not to get hit. We're going to make sure we rotate through our imbuments to do extra damage, and wow, someone just one-shot her. Dope. But look at all the loot. Alright guys, here we are, it's a decent group. I'm going to show you the rotation right now. So what you want to do is for wave clear, you want to do your Shadow Imbuement. This way you're just like popping enemies really quick, and then as for the elites, that's where you want to pop your Poison Imbuement. That way, it does the most damage and single target damage at the same time. And as you can see, Rogue is quite squishy, so don't forget to have your Concealment up and your Shadow Step up as your unstoppable procs. Alright, here we go again, a decent sized group. We want to get out of the fray, pop our Shadow Imbuement to start doing that wave clear. And then as we see the elite enemies, we pop the Poison Imbuement and rinse and repeat. So that does it for the World Tier 4 Helltide gameplay, but let's jump into some wave clear and single target damage next. Alright guys, as you can see, we're in the Dopamine Tunnels, my favorite place to be, and I only have Sacreds on, but I'm going to demonstrate some wave clear next. Okay, again, for some wave clear, just have that Shadow Imbuement up and pop it with your rapid fire. Oh, we leveled up. Right here, nice little sweet pack here. Easy clearing. Nice, we got a nice big group here again. Let's get into position with Concealment. Pop that Shadow Imbuement. Let's get it going. Here we go. We got our Bursting Venoms proc there, so we got our Poison Imbue back again, and then we can basically just start melting enemies. Alright guys, here we are at the end of the Dopamine Tunnels, and I'm going to demonstrate some single target damage next. Shadow Step in, get our Shadow Imbue. Totally whiffed it, that's okay. We're just going to pop the Pestilent points and watch this guy melt. Look at that damage on Poison Imbue. Crazy. So that was some wave clear and some single target damage with the Rogue. Let's go on to that build summary next. Alright guys, so as for the aspects, I'll chapter that for you in the video and you can go see it there. As for the skills, we're going Puncture, then we're going Rapid Fire, then we're going Shadow Step, then we're going Concealment, and then we're going both Poison and Shadow Imbuement. And as for the Paragon board, I'll chapter that for you in this video as well, but you guys can also go over to Mobalytics and see the whole build there. And then finally for the Rogue Specialization, we're going combo points for some big damage on our Rapid Fire. Alright guys, we finally did it. We did all the leveling guides for all the classes in Diablo 4. And I'm glad I got to do the last guide that was voted on by you guys. So if you guys want to see any other builds, let me know down in the comments and I'd be more than happy to make those guides for you. Well guys, that does it for me. Don't worry about liking and subscribing. If you simply enjoyed today's video or brought you any kind of value, that's all I could ask for. Thank you guys so much. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm your boy Jajiro. Sign out for now. Peace.